Good morning, sixth graders. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I was very happy and impressed with your test from chapter 7. A lot of very good grades, lots of A's and some high B's. A few of you, I know you emailed me, and just some of you, I noticed your grade probably wasn't what you were hoping for. So I set up some test corrections for you guys in your Google Classroom. So if you have a test correction assignment, make sure you work on it. The rest of you won't see that. If you're not sure, check RunWeb for your grade. Make sure you're okay with it. But if I didn't give you a test correction, that means you did very well. So make sure you get that done today as well. We are moving on to chapter 9. We're skipping chapter 8 because we do a lot of geometry in 7th grade. So instead of taking more time away from our learning, I want to move into something and introduce you to integers, which is chapter 9. So we're going to combine 9.1 and 9.2 today because they're very simple, quick lessons that just provide an introductory for you. So I just want to kind of get those out of the way so we can move on to some more meatier stuff as we go along. So 9.1 talks about integers, how to identify them, how to graph them, and then finding the opposites. And then 9.2 talks about comparing them. So we're going to start off with 9.1. And there are two definitions here. The first one you should know because we've been working with these for our whole life. They're called positive numbers. And positive numbers are numbers that are greater than 0. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, those are positive numbers. Sometimes they might have a plus sign in front of them, but a lot of times they're just written as the number. So if there's no plus sign, that means it's positive. Okay, oops, I went backwards. Okay, the next definition are negative numbers. These are probably new to you guys. We have touched on them briefly. You may have seen them in other scenarios, but we're going to focus on them now. But negative numbers are numbers that are less than 0. And for negative numbers, you always have to have a negative sign. And it looks like a subtraction sign. It's just technically it's slightly smaller than a subtraction sign, but it's a negative sign. All right, so we're going to look at some real world scenarios and decide if the number is positive or negative. So the first scenario is you have a jet climbing to an altitude of 20,000 feet. So you're going up, and what would that be? Positive or negative? That would be positive. Okay, so anytime you're talking about climbing, rising, increasing, those are going to be positive numbers. All right, next example, taking $15 out of the bank. So the bank is meant for you to have money saved. When you have money saved, that's a positive thing. When you take it out, it's a negative thing. So when you're removing or taking something away or decreasing, that's going to be a negative. So we would represent that as this little negative sign in front of the number 15. 7 degrees below 0. We haven't seen that in a while, thank goodness. 7 degrees below 0, again, you're smaller than 0. You're decreasing from 0, so that's going to be a negative number. And we would represent that as negative 7. Okay, I always use this example in my classroom, so I'll do it again. Think about football. Okay, if a quarterback successfully finds its wide receiver down the field, they're gaining yards. It's a positive number. But if a quarterback is sacked behind the line of scrimmage, guess what? That's a negative number. It's a loss of yards. Okay, so that's another way to think about it. All right, now what we can do with our integers is we can graph them on a number line. Okay, we're going to graph them on a number line, and you guys actually already graphed on a coordinate plane. So you guys are kind of ahead of the game with that. I made sure to kind of bump that up when we were learning that at the beginning of chapter 7 because I wasn't sure how far we'd get with this distance learning. So if you look at this number line, I want you to focus on this middle right here. This is a 0. That's your midpoint. 0 is like your neutral number. It's like Switzerland. Okay, it's not positive, it's not negative. It goes along with everybody. So it's like your midpoint. Anything to the right of 0 is positive. That's the number line we're used to seeing, right? Now we're adding the negatives in. So anything to the left of 0, it's getting smaller and it's becoming negative. So if you notice, if you move one spot to the left, it's -1. So you're counting backwards. You're counting backwards. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. That's as you're going to the left. It's kind of like when you're looking at a timeline and you're looking at BC versus AD, before Christ, after Christ, or after the death of Christ. Before Christ is, you're counting backwards. Whoops, I went backwards again. Okay, so on a number line, we can find something that are called opposites. And opposites are the same distance from 0, but on a different side. So if you look at 5, the opposite of 5 is -5. If you look at 2, the opposite of -2, the opposite of 2 is -2. You can even start at a negative. -4, the opposite side of -4 on the number line is +4. So just the opposite of each other, just what it sounds like. Okay, now integers, the definition of integers are the set of whole numbers and their opposites. So basically that's a fancy way of saying positive and negative whole numbers. So I would kind of jot that down, positive or negative whole numbers. Everything to the left is negative, as I mentioned. Everything to the right of 0 is positive. 0 is our neutral number. It's neither positive nor negative. Okay, so we're going to graph each integer and then its opposite on a number line. Technically, you probably don't need a number line. You can probably tell me that the negative or the opposite of 2 is -2, but I want to just kind of visualize. I want to have you guys visualize it. So if I have 2 and I graph it, it's right there. The same distance away from 0 would be -2. Okay, that's what makes it the opposite. And that's going to come in handy when we talk about absolute value in a moment. -5, same thing. You can probably tell me that 5 is the opposite of -5. When we graph -5 and then we look at the distance from 0, we see that 5 is just as far away. 1. What's the opposite of 1? -1. Here's where we graph 1, and then the same distance away from 0 would be -1. This one's tricky. It's 0. 0 is 0, so how can we see how far away 0 is from 0? We can't. So 0 is its own opposite. I wanted to put that on there just so you guys know that kind of verbiage. 0 is its own opposite. So the opposite of 0 is 0. I know it sounds funny and kind of weird, but because it's that neutral number, it doesn't have an opposite. Okay, now moving on. Absolute value. This comes up quite a bit as we go on through our mathematical journey over the next several years. So it's important to really know what absolute value is. The absolute value of an integer is its distance from 0 on a number line. So just what we did with opposites. Okay, it's the same idea as the opposites. The problem, or difference I should say, with this is that we're talking about distance. The key word here is distance. When you are measuring distance, can you ever have a negative distance? No, it's always positive. So our absolute value answers will always be positive. No matter what's inside the absolute value symbol, it's going to be a positive answer. Okay, now if you look at the next line, it says the symbol for absolute value is, this looks like parallel lines, kind of, these two lines here, and I'll show you in a minute what I mean. So this right here is reading the absolute value of -3. So the absolute value of -3, we're counting how far away we are from 0. So if you look, and I wish these weren't both on here, but if you look at -3, -3 is 1, 2, 3 spaces away from 0. So the distance that -3 is from 0 is 3. So that's why the answer is positive. Okay, now a lot of students make a mistake here at the beginning when they're learning about this, so don't do this. Okay, absolute value of +3 is still +3. It's not -3. Don't be tempted to put the opposite because we're talking about distance. How far away is 3 from 0? Again, 1, 2, 3 spots. We're talking about distance, so it has to be positive. So again, jot these in your notes. Absolute values are never negative. And opposite integers have the same absolute value. So if you're talking about -3 and 3, those are opposites of each other, but their answer to the absolute value is the same. It's 3. If you were to take the absolute value of 0, this is another kind of special case. The answer is 0, because it's 0 spots away from 0. Okay, so to use a number line to figure out the absolute value, you can use a number line. Again, this is like the opposites where, it's nice to visualize it, but you can probably tell me that the answer is 2. The absolute value of -2, if you use this number line, here's -2, and we're 2 spots away from 0, so the distance is 2, our answer is 2. 8, same thing. Here's 8. It's 8 spots away from 0, and so our answer is 8. Absolute value of 6. It's 6 spots away from 0, or 6 units, so our answer is 6. Notice how every single answer is a positive number. -4. Here's where -4 is on the number line. It is 4 spots away from 0. So the absolute value of -4 is equal to 4. This is what I want to see on your papers, okay? If you were turning in homework to me normally, this is what I'd want to see. The absolute value of -4 equals 4. Okay, now we're moving on to 9.2, where we're just quickly going to compare and order integers. As I mentioned before, numbers on a number line increase in value as you move from left to right. So if I have -2, here's -2 right here on the number line, and I have 2 over here. Which one is bigger? 2 is bigger. So we would say -2 is less than 2. And the reason we say that, -2 is to the left of 2 on the number line. How about 3 and -5? Well, 3 is to the right of -5 on the number line, so it means it's greater. So 3 is greater than -5. Anytime you have a positive number, it's going to be bigger than the negative, right? Where it gets tricky is if you have 2 negatives. Okay, we have a -1, which is right here on the number line, and then we have -4. Okay, -4 is to the left of -1, which means it's smaller. So if I look here, -1 is greater than -4. Okay, how about this? -2 is less than 1. 2 has to be greater than -3. And -3 is, trick question, greater than -4. So be careful when you're comparing 2 negatives. Okay? The others, like if you have 1 negative and 1 positive, or 1 positive, 1 negative, that should be intuitive on which one's bigger. Okay. Last thing here, we're going to order the integers from least to greatest. Okay, so the smallest number, we have -2, 3, and -1. If you graph them on the number line, you'll see -2, 3, and -1. If you're going least to greatest, you're literally reading from left to right. So my smallest number is -2, then -1, then 3. Okay, we can do the same thing for 4, -3, -5, and 2. We're going to graph them on the number line. So there's 4, there's -3, there's -5, and there's 2. When you list them, it's -5, -3, 2, 4. You're reading from left to right. If it asks you for greatest to least, then you're going to read from right to left. Okay. Some of you may be able to do without a number line. If you're still unsure about it, go ahead and use a number line. No big deal. Okay, now I'm going to kind of just skip through to the homework. This is just more comparing with a real life example. There's a couple on here. So we're just going to kind of skip through those because it's just more of what we did. Our homework, it seems like it's a lot because it's 2 sections, but it's actually not. It's very, very quick work. I gave you all the odds, so I'm expecting you guys to check in the back of the book. Don't copy. Do your homework first on a piece of paper. If you want to check it after you do the work,